Sword Master's dojo must protect everyone, including my brother, Afro.
Yeah. Shogun, nigga. Shogun. Just another day with some village niggas. Wolfpack, wolves, panther dogs, and gorillas. Freeze frame, Dean came like Master Splinter. Life some days be feeling like a wood chipper. I can still serve the jitsu and some Burke slippers. Alpha dog like Balrog, so don't even enter. I stab my hater with my sword and I leave it in him. Hope it ain't no blood dripping on my Japanese denim. Win or lose, either way, you ain't fucking with us. Plus we cut different, brush gold glisten. Blunt smoke hitting, weather cold feeling like a diamond froze kitchen. Psilocyber saying, see my aura, help me listen. The facts feel fake, the real tastes like fiction. Prison to a prison, take your orphan portion. Your stomach's full, but your hands is smelling like extortion. Fatality to morality just to release endorphins. Tunnel vision to stay focused on what's important. You ever hear a megalodon killed by a swordfish? Take your orphan portion. Take your orphan portion. Take your orphan portion. So Captain Crunch rushed through the brunch, milk mustache, looking grown and tough, like I could buy a corner store blunts. Baby face, they don't think I'm old enough. They might as well, I got the golden touch. Pearl from a clam when I'm rolling up. Sue brother providing the fire. 700 backwards, got gold in my eye. Killer shoes for the eye job. Money bags coming pronto. Tropical island on a photo, like Yakukoto. In a polo, it's getting spooky. Can't get kabuki when the sun's down, the wolves out. If you know what's good, don't look in the woods. All you see is eyes shine from the teeth, cause it's dinner time. And all my wolves gotta eat. So take your orphan portion, nigga. Yeah, take your orphan portion. Shogun signing out.
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
Yo, what's good? What is up? Welcome back to First Cut Live, your one-stop shop for all the movie news that is coming out over the weekend. I am here back with the crew, starting first with our starting center, our 7-footer, our Giannis Antetokounmpo, Miss Sabrina Ramirez. What's up, girl?
Oh, hello. Feeling good. You know, we got a lot to talk about today, so I'm very, very excited. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and obviously also here representing the West Coast, we have the power forward, the show timing, time flying, 3-timing, 2-stepping, double dribble, travel.
I don't know what you saw.
Losing to Nigeria and Australia in the same day, Mr. RB3.
I don't know what you're referring to there. There's not even any Lakers planned on the U.S. Team right now.
Because y'all suck.
Nah, because I mean we're talented and we don't.
Name one Laker besides Braun and AD.
What do you mean? There's a lot of great Lakers.
One Laker besides Braun and AD on the USA team.
Go Lakers.
I could see Ozzy shaking.
That's what I'm saying. Then that's why they trash. We don't want to waste our time with all that. Wait, hold up. Let me.
I swear.
Y'all keep going. I have something that I just got and is really beautiful. So I'm gonna bring it back real quick.
All right. I was gonna talk about the Lakers for 5 minutes, Sabrina, but let's not do that. Let's talk about your weekend. Let's talk about your weekend, Sabrina. How was your weekend?
It was really, really good. I got to see some friends, got to do some stuff in person, so that was really great. Got some like cool news, different things like that are coming up. Some screenings. Yeah, I'm going to a few screenings for a few movies that I'm really excited about. I'm doing a really cool interview soon that I am like beyond pumped for, because this actor that I'm interviewing, I am a huge fan of. It's not Andrew Garfield. That'll happen one day though.
Wow, that's impressive, man. Anything else that's been new for you, girl? As I'm stalling for RB3. Oh.
Okay.
What does it say? 2020? Is that the 2020 one?
Nah, it's just the Lakers. Just the Lakers rep. You know what I mean?
It's got the little bandana stuff.
Yeah,
I see it.
yeah. Paisley
I see
collection.
it.
Paisley collection. That's what's good. That's what's good.
Hey, I was about to buy a new Suns hat too. A Suns hat that said
Yes.
finals on it. What's up, girl?
Your sons are. I watched the game.
You watched the game.
I
Look
watched
at you,
Thursday.
Man. I'm proud. God, I'm
Yeah.
touched. You did it for me, right?
That was I seriously, I was so excited for you. I wanted to text you, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just let him like enjoy this game.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun watching it. Genuinely, such a good game on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. That's a much better game.
The one they won. Yeah, of course.
Than the one we lost yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, girl. Who'd you see it with?
I was watching with like Dorian, our friend Mikey Chu, and Brandon.
Yeah.
We were just sitting there like shooting the shit, watching it.
Dorian keeps
Yeah.
inviting
Cool,
me
man.
to places at the same
I
time.
swear,
that
bro.
I've
Yes, you were
seen
invited.
movies. Yeah, he's
For
always
someone
like,
who's yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
cut you off. He's always like, oh, you want to watch the game? I'm like, bro, I had these tickets for Black Widow like a month ago. I'm sorry, dog. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Can't. It's a little too late now. My bad.
I also had tickets for Black Widow, and he texted me. And this goes because I know I talked about this about like 2 weeks ago. I just ended up skipping watching it on Thursday, and I didn't see it until last night.
No way.
Because it's kind of the same thing I talked about earlier. I wasn't super excited. This does not reflect my actual thoughts on the film at all, but I wasn't that excited because the stakes weren't there. I just feel
That's
like
right,
this
you
film
told me
should have
that.
happened forever ago. So I wasn't even like rushing out to go see it, but I'm happy to see that it did really well box office wise, and that other people felt that. I know it didn't reach that 100 million that you guessed, but I knew it was going to creep up there. Plus, I know with the Disney numbers, which we'll talk about later, it got up there.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it. I want to talk about box office. I think we have to because it kind of coincides with what we're going to say, regardless of the movie. But before we do that, I was just going to finish my thought on the Suns, just because, I mean, come on, y'all. This is historic, bro. Sabrina saw a Suns game, bro. I'm touched.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, for people who don't know basketball that well, I still feel kind of like this Suns team is kind of cool for like the up and coming generation, like the Sabrina's generation, like the Gen Zers kind of. I got my cousins back in Colombia to watch the game. We got a Latin dude in there. We got some young studs in there. We got high flyers like Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. We got big man like DeAndre Ayton, and one old guy, which is Chris Paul. So I think it's cool, man, that a lot of people are watching the Suns team. I don't mind bandwagoners. If you want to jump on my bandwagon that I've been on since I was like 12, I don't mind at all, man. I know a lot of people get mad, but I don't. So unlike you Lakers fan who just are like the most ridiculous,
What are you talking about?
overpowered, empirical,
We're used to winning. that's all.
Palpatine-esque.
You can't blame us for being the America of basketball. You know what I mean? We just take stuff over and
Is
run
that a
it
good
down.
thing, bro?
You know what I mean? We run it
Is
down.
that a good thing, y'all?
It's better than
We're
being-
the Donald Trump of basketball. Ooh.
No, I didn't say that.
I
No,
don't
who said that?
know.
You know, you said that.
You did,
said
bro.
that.
You
said
did.
that. No,
You
you said
did.
that. You said that. But hey, by the way, speaking of which, I got this hat on network. That's where I got this hat. And I wanted to say that because guess what? Something big is happening, y'all. Something big is happening. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Cuéntame.
Wait a minute.
Dime.
Where's the God dog, I thought
Where's
I had
that?
drum roll. Oh, here it is. Something big is happening this week, y'all.
Dime.
Something big is happening this week. This Wednesday, 5 o'clock. If you notice, Ace has a different background behind him because he is in Los Angeles. He is in LA right now because he is going to be hosting Meltdown, the show that I work for, the show that I produce on network. You know, it's my stuff. You know what I mean? I write it, I put it all together. If he hosts it, and used to host it, Jay Washington be hosting it sometimes, but not this time. It's Ace. It's Andres Cabrera
I'm
hosting this
hosting it.
week, hosting big time. And we need y'all support. I need all of y'all who are watching right now, live, right now. Take your phone out, download the network app, and just go over there right now and just
NET. What is it?
NTWRK. Yeah, it's just the word network without the vowels. You know, super easy. Here, I'm gonna even show you right here. Look, network. This is how the little icon looks. I don't want to show y'all like who I'm texting.
Whoa.
But this is the thing right here.
RB3. Whoa.
And check out.
Is that Tinder?
No.
Is that Tinder or network?
No, this is network right here.
Oh.
But this is what
we catch you on Tinder, fam.
this is the drop that's happening. And guess what? Like, man, this ain't even showing up good. We are giving away a big, massive Pac-Man tabletop game. All you gotta do is just download the network app. If you have $1 in your account, that's all you need. If you win, so download the network app, get on there, get Ace. The more chats, like we need chats. Like that's what I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all some secret sauce about how network works. You know what I mean? Like it's a live streaming platform. It's just like YouTube, just like Twitch, just like all that other stuff. But when we look at like where our algorithm, it's not like the YouTube algorithm where there's like views and tags and all this other weird stuff that goes into it. We just purely look at like the customer experience, and the customer experience comes in our live chat. So the more chats that we have, the more people that we have supporting really, really helps out. I know Aiden Kosick, it was in the chat last time for Forrest Gump one. Forrest Gump one did great, by the way. Ace has hosted a few of our stuff on networks. He's done some Star Wars drops, he hosted Star Wars Meltdown for like a whole day. He did like a little Star Wars festival on Star Wars Day. And then he did the Forrest Gump drop. He did he did a couple other things, some with those anime joggers or anime shirts. Great stuff, but this is big. All your support, every single one of y'all, all 26 of y'all. By the way, we could get more people in this right now if we just hit the like button.
Retweet.
Yeah. Retweet that, retweet everything, y'all.
Retweet that, retweet.
Retweet the retweet.
That's how we do.
I'm gonna be putting the link for this week's Meltdown on my Instagram story right now. So all you gotta do is just click that little link on my Instagram story, and it'll take you directly to the App Store to download the network app. You can only watch it on network. And we need y'all support. Every single one of y'all, all 23 y'all. Oh man, now we have 19. Whatever.
Now we're 23. Y'all messed it up.
Whatever. We down. But come back and support us on network. So that's what's happening at 5. Boom.
Hey, that's what I needed, bro. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. So come see me Wednesday 5.
I didn't even click. Like it didn't even like register with me that you were in LA. Like with that.
I've been in LA, fam. I just drive down and back. No, I just drive down and back. I'm just trying to go to the Suns game, y'all. Like, I'm really trying. Y'all saw my retweet last week. Anyone in the chat who retweeted me, y'all saw how desperate I was. I made a damn little clip video. Like, you see me, like, asking for retweets and shit. Like, I'm desperate, y'all. Like, get me to the damn Suns game.
We'll make it happen.
We got that. Yeah,
so that's why I'm driving back and forth to Arizona. It's because I'm legit dead ass trying to find a way to get inside.
I'm
just
curious.
Sneak in.
Where did you see Black Widow? Did you see it in LA or back in?
Oh, no, I saw that back home. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I saw that.
How was the theater experience for you? Because I know you've only gone a few times back.
Yeah. I saw Quiet Place back home as well. Good, man. Good. I mean, I miss it. I really do. There's nothing like it, to be honest. And I think it's kind of wild how a lot of people chose to do the Disney Plus route. Like that was something that a lot of people, I didn't even think people would consider it, but I guess I was wrong. A lot of people chose it because people really like that whole bang for your buck shit. And it kind of dawned on me, bro, like if you can get like a group of like imagine you, Sabrina, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how you saw it, right? But imagine like you, Brandon, Dorian, 4 other people, and you paid $30. Like
it's cheap.
Bro, you can...
Well, it makes sense
that's
because
good.
I know we always talk about this, so it's not like we're oblivious to this fact, but like I've never experienced it before. When I went to Colorado, we saw F9 with Brandon and his family. They hadn't been to a movie theater in 7 years. It was 3.5 hour round trip. Mm-hmm. Wow. It was a 3.5 hour round trip just to go see a movie. So it makes so much sense that if you're living in those areas, because we were in a beautiful town in Colorado, pretty close to Denver. Denver's like 2.5 hours from where they live. So we didn't even go up there. We just went to like another like touristy place kind of on the side. It's insane. 100%. If I was in their position, I'd be getting Black Widow on Disney Plus. I would not take that trip out to go see every movie the way that we're fortunate enough in LA. There's a movie theater everywhere.
And it's kind of wild to think about how personally, right? Because this is all we can speak on. Not all we can speak on, but it's what we can mainly speak on is our personal experiences and how I was like thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I really want to see Black Widow with my family. once I go back home to try and get the Suns tickets, by the way, retweet Ace. But anyways, once I go back home to Phoenix, I was like, I kind of want to see Black Widow with like my mom and like my dad and like my brother as well. Cause I mean, they didn't get a chance to see it because I just kind of sneaked out and went to see it super late because they were all asleep. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, I kind of want to see it with them too. And I was like, I might just do the $30 route. Like I might just rent it on Disney Plus or whatever, buy it on Disney Plus, whatever it is. How long is that window? Do you know? It dawned on me. How long
I believe it's 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, because Riot came out in March, and and I feel like in
3 months, as in like if I pay the $30 fee, how long do I get to keep it?
Oh, you keep forever.
As in YouTube.
You keep it forever.
Oh, okay.
You keep forever.
Yeah. So my thing is like I might just do that and just kind of watch it with my family once I go back home, and it's one of those things where it's kind of a good deal, even for people who already saw it in theaters. So imagine like I'm Kevin Feige and I have like all my Marvel fanboys going out to the theaters to see it, paying $20 to see this movie. And then when they want to see it again with their homies, or if they recommend it to their friends, they could be like, oh, did you see Black Widow? Let's rent it. Why not? It's Friday night. Let's just stay home and rent it. And they just rent it. And one person watches it again and another person watches it for the first time. Yeah. I was like, that might happen. And that's going to be a moneymaker for Disney, bro.
I really did feel that because I do know somebody who saw Cruella in theaters, immediately went home and did the order just so they could keep like rewatching it because they enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
And like
instead of going back to the theater to watch it again.
You know, sometimes like an Uncut Gems situation, RB3 and I went for the first time. I went to go see it a second time with Eliza. Sometimes when you finish a movie, you just want to watch it over again. Black Widow honestly was one of those that I would totally be down to. So if somebody wanted to like hang out and watch it together, split, even if just Brandon and I split and it's just $15 each or whatever it ends up being, it's kind of worth it. Like I have A-list, so like it doesn't, you know, like you don't have to technically pay anything out of pocket for like watching a specific movie, but it makes sense that a lot of people are kind of choosing that route. Plus you already saw it in theaters, you had that experience, now you can watch it from the comfort of your home.
Yeah, I watched it.
So technically not cheating because you saw it in theaters already. You're just rewatching it at home, which is kind of like, it just super speeds the whole direct to DVD thing. Remember when back in the day when we had to wait for like our VHS DVD release?
Well, I think
y'all don't remember that.
Well, I mean, no, I do remember, of course. Come on, we're not that young.
But I'm saying, like, isn't that kind of wild? Like, that's how much like a DVD costs, $30.
It is. I mean, but it's not, to me, it's not the same quality as a DVD. Because you're not getting the full package and like behind the scenes.
But still, you're seeing it like the day after.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not. I mean,
that happened to me when I was a kid.
Short-term business is great. I know it's great short-term business and it's good for like fans, but I don't think we should be praising that. I think we should like not be condoning that at all. I think Disney is gonna like lose a bunch of money.
I'm saying to make money off it.
No, they're not gonna make a lot of money off of it because repeat viewings are what keeps what keeps movie theaters going, is what keeps box office titles going. That's what.
And now they're just keeping 100% of the profits on their own platform.
Right, but for one-time purchases, like when you get repeat viewings, you are getting one person paying for a ticket, then you're getting that same person paying again, plus them bringing a friend, plus that friend, then the next time around that friend brings another person around. It's just a circular cycle. But when it's like you pay the $30 fee, anybody can grab it. The piracy is going off the chain right now for it. So. But
do you really feel like are we still at 100% yet? Like we're almost at 100%.
We are.
I think we're 90.
At 100%.
I think we're like 85 or 90.
Theater stuff.
Theaters.
I went on Thursday.
Everyone is going to see movies. Like everyone that saw movies in 2018 are seeing movies now in 2021.
I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's getting close.
The theaters have been packed. I've been going at random times, and they're packed even for like movies that are smaller, like all the time. So I even saw like Conjuring like days later. Still a packed theater.
Yeah. The only ones that aren't packed out are the 3D showings, unfortunately. But that I did take a little experiment. We could talk about it later when we get into the Black Widow spoiler. I did take an experiment and saw Black Widow in 3D literally right before coming on the stream like today. So I did, like, I'm coming off of a fresh 3D screen in the Black Widow right now.
Eyes,
so I have Yeah, no, I mean, my eyes are feeling great, man. I love 3D.
My eyes
So
are like,
I'm the last
I saw
surviving.
Black Widow in 3D.
I'm the last surviving 3D.
Your eyes are all crossed and shit.
Yeah, man, I'm the last surviving 3D fan, man.
Oh no, there's plenty, bro. There's plenty. The what is it? The Heroes Reforged zombies. They love
Yeah,
3D.
nah,
Hector and Adam and all those brothers.
Yeah, it's a dying art form, man. Especially when
It
there's
is a
only
dying
three
art
people
form.
in the theater.
It's barely an art form, to be honest.
It's a brilliant art form, if you ask me.
I'm playing with you. Anyways, let's kind of go to the numbers. So I have I have an article out here. It's not the Box Office Mojo one. It's the first one that came out. So far, the biggest one before this was F9 with 70 million. I predicted it would be 100 million. It did, in fact, not hit that. It made 80 million over the weekend. However, for the first time ever, in a dramatic twist, Disney Plus released their numbers on streaming in an international capacity, meaning that every country that has Disney Plus, this was the combined number. This is not necessarily domestic compared to the 80 mil, which is domestic, which again, I predicted 100 mil, which was me being super positive. But then again, I could kind of argue that it kind of did hit 100 mil with this Disney Plus streaming. Kind of, yeah, if you think about it. If it made 60 mil on streaming,
but we don't talk about worldwide. Like
but
this.
if there was no option though, if there was no stream, I'm talking about there was no Disney Plus option, how much would it make in theaters without that?
Well, we can't talk about hypotheticals when we're talking about
I'm
facts
saying,
right now with the number. I'm saying,
but let's talk about hypotheticals.
Technically
what if LeBron James and Anthony Davis were healthy? That's all the NBA is.
That's all this dude.
It gets me so mad. Oh, but if Kawhi was healthy, y'all would have lost.
That's all the stupid sports shows you be watching.
It's
Like,
so
that's all
dumbass. It's dumb.
Granted, that's all the sports shows that they give us. That's all they talk about.
God damn.
So.
But yeah, thank you, Sabrina, for like slapping me and telling me no hypotheticals, because that's all I listen to.
You can't be like,
Skip
well,
Bayless
if it didn't come out like this, it probably would have hit 100.
But I'm saying if we do play that game, which you're right, let's not play it. But if we do,
well, no, you're probably right, but you're wrong. It didn't hit 100 mil, and I did guess like an 80, something like a little bit under 100 mil. I did think it was going to do really well, and I think this might be like the biggest domestic opening since pandemic, right?
It is the biggest.
It is.
F9 was the biggest before. Now it's Black Widow.
Yeah.
With 80 million plus a 60 million Disney Plus release. 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't get anyone who could say otherwise. I know a lot of people might be like, that's not great. That's pretty great, man. Honestly,
you're the best post-pandemic after F9.
Not just that, but
like
80 million is a good ass number considering post-pandemic, considering the streaming option, considering $30 on Disney Plus, considering this is a movie that's been 2 years ago was supposed to come out. Like, those numbers are good. Those are good ass numbers. I'm curious what you guys think of this as a whole and what it means for movies as a whole, because it does present an interesting conversation with the whole, is this still kind of killing theaters? Or is this like, hey, it's Marvel, it's still kind of helping theaters out, even though I just said that people can just watch it again at home, which then theaters would get no repeat viewings off that money. So what do you guys think?
Some people could still be like us, and they could still be like, I don't want to watch it at home, I don't want to see that. But like, I mean, for the people that don't do repeat viewings and you choose to because you can watch it at your home and stuff like that, and you don't usually do the one in a theater, I mean, it's cool. It's open to the possibility, because I know there are still people that are like immunocompromised and different things like that. And there's the Delta variant, all these other things that you could be nervous or have a situation.
And we're not 100% though. I was right in the first place when everyone was like, yeah, we're at 100%. Are we though? At 100%?
No, we're not at 100%, but people do act like we're at 100% most of the time. Like truly, even in grocery stores, like people aren't wearing masks and stuff like that. We're just like, people are fed up at this point, so it makes sense.
Yeah, because most people don't have to be fair. I still do. I don't.
But if you're vaccinated, I think
That's what I'm saying. Like
you could still catch it. So like, whatever, you know what I mean? It's up to each person. It's whatever. If you're fully vaccinated, whatever you feel comfortable with. But also people like Brandon's parents. Maybe they really want to see Black Widow, but they're not going to drive 3.5 hours each way. They literally hadn't gone to a theater in like 7 years, I think it was. That's craziness. So then at least they have the option to watch it immediately. Because again, we're blessed and we're fortunate, because some people don't have situations like that. So I think that it's positives kind of on both end. I don't see anything like negative with this particular thing.
Wow.
As we go forward, and once it's kind of at that stage where we are past it, actually, like where people that are immunocompromised or older or whatever don't have to worry about it as much, then that's like, I don't want every single huge Disney release or Marvel release or whatever to be kind of like this like $30 premium access, which is kind of crazy. I thought they would do like a rental for this one in particular and not have you be able to keep it, because I know they did that for Raya. I know they did it for like a few others.
Yeah, that's what I feel too. That's why I'm gonna have to double check you, RB3, even though I trust
maybe
you.
double check that.
I don't know, man. I feel like that might be like a 7-day thing, maybe a 3-day thing.
I don't know.
I mean, they did it for Mulan and they did it for Raya, so I wonder with like Cruella
like that was
too.
More 100 on. You see what I'm saying? Like that was more like 100% on the platform versus like now where it feels like it's more split between theaters and platform.
True.
So I don't know. What do you think, RB3, about this whole thing and about the numbers that have been presented to you?
I mean, listen, man. Numbers are numbers. You know, I think.
No, but I mean, numbers represent what can happen to theaters in the future, though.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I think we're playing a dangerous game if when we start like. I think the streaming and the day and date thing for these big movies is a dangerous game. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But tell me why.
I mean, it's just everything about it. I mean, I think this 60 million that could have been like on streaming, that could have been the 100 million that could have taken over, 120 million. Now, granted, like you said, these are options for people who may not have a theater close to them, and I'm all for that. That's always what I'm like proposing and talking about. Like,
or
that's what I'm saying. Who can't go in general, yeah. But if Black Widow's like the exception, great. But I don't think 60 million is even. I think Disney can even make 60 million more, like, not doing it off of the Disney Plus thing, and if they just kept it just through the theatrical model too, you know what I mean? Because I think there's so much money to be made, like in theaters, overseas, online. But again, like there's so many things that this online release stuff opens up. It opens up the possibility of piracy. It opens up the possibility of like people sharing Disney Plus accounts, which I'm all for. Like, please share your Disney Plus accounts. I love sharing my accounts with people.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised you do, because you're like the only one I know who does. But I'm always like, yo, RB3, hit me up.
Yeah.
What is that again?
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that's that's what the world should be doing. But at the same time, like y'all, like, hey, we are taking money out of people's pockets. Like
we are.
And for smaller movies, like it's a little bit different, because they're not really primed to make money anyway. But for these big studio projects, they're feeding people on the theatrical level. They're feeding people on the Disney like PA level, like on the studio level, like on the actual physical production level. Like that's where my mind kind of goes when I think about a lot of this stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that they have the release model as is, but at the same time, like, I'm hoping, according to what y'all said, I think this is the last Marvel one that they're doing. Disney, I hope they cut it off. I hope HBO just cancels their whole like free movies thing for the rest of the year.
The Marvel one, yes, but not the last Disney one. The last Disney one, I think, is Jungle Cruise, right?
Well, that one.
Yeah, they can let that one sink.
Who
though.
wants to go?
Yeah,
I'm completely cool with that. Like, I've seen that trailer way too many times. I've gone to the movies so much. They show it before every single movie, and I don't care.
Sorry,
I know. I love The Rock. I love Emily Blunt. I don't care about that movie whatsoever. But hopefully, it's a fun little Jumanji type of movie for kids.
I like
10-year-olds.
Yeah, Jumanji.
I could see a couple moms renting that for their family if they have like a couple kids at home. Yeah, man, it's interesting, right? Because we have to talk about the idea of what you just said about small movies and how small movies don't need to make a profit anyways. It's kind of crazy, man, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, gone are the days of like Get Out or like, I don't know, Hereditary. No. Like, are we not going to see small movies in theaters anymore, RB3? Are they all going to be on Hulu on HBO Max,
Well, no,
on
I mean,
Netflix.
I personally think we're actually seeing more small movies in theaters now than I personally seen recently. I mean, Zola is playing in actually a good number of
I disagree with
AMCs.
that 100%.
No, I mean, I think
In
Zola's
your location
I
in
mean,
Los Angeles.
I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm biased.
I'm talking
in Los
about
Angeles, but
domestically, no.
Wait, Zola
Domestically,
was
it's only
released-
Black Widow.
But they would never be showing that in AMC previously, though. That's what I'm saying. Like that would never even reach an AMC like kind of audience like before.
That's probably
this point.
true, but that's still a pretty niche local market. That's still like Los Angeles based.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but
It
that's
opened everywhere though.
yeah. I think it
No,
did
I
open
know, but
nationally.
it's still not. It's still mainly LA in New York.
But I also think, like Summer of Soul, like they're showing in like, you know, local theaters here too. Like I still think like, you know, even though like the closure of like the arc lights and like all that stuff has kind of happened, there are like, at least from what I'm saying, look, all I have is the AMC perspective in my area. If you're asking me like,
Yeah, but I
what
feel
my
like
area
it's
is-
like
but then what? Then
you're
what-
just
how am I
like, yo,
supposed to-
bro.
Well,
This
then
is
how
great. Summer of Soul is playing it.
But how
Bro,
else am I
I
supposed
guarantee
to-
your ass that Summer of Soul ain't playing in like Arkansas.
Okay,
fam.
it wasn't
Like,
playing Arkansas before either. It wasn't playing Arkansas either. But at least I could drive to Torrance and see it now instead of driving all the way to Hollywood. That's what I'm saying. At least I
but
don't
I'm
have to
saying
drive
like
to
most
Hollywood.
people are watching Summer of Soul on Hulu.
Yeah, most people are, but there's still that avenue. People still want. I mean, it's honestly up to things like the Academy to keep up their like their awards recognition
Yes.
thing, right? To
Yes.
still make the theatrical thing like a distinction, even though we had 2020 and like circumstances were different then. They should still like honor that to some extent. I also think. You know, I think there's good business to be made in theatrical for a lot of these independent films, especially now. Especially now that the theaters are starting to reopen, you know, like I think like now people are a little bit more inclined to at least find something outside of the norm, outside of like the mainstream. Oh shoot, hold up, my bad. We got a donation, but y'all can't hear it. So
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and
I see the
replay it.
little yellow thing.
I'll replay in a second. I also think, frankly, like, you know, even though streaming is, you know, the prominent place to see a lot of these things, a lot of these movies, eventually the streaming platforms are probably going to end up owning these theaters anyway. So in a lot of cases, we might end up seeing a Disney theater playing a Summer of Soul because it's a Hulu production, Hulu, Disney, or something like that. So
That's the future we're heading to for sure.
I think there's a balance to it all because we've always talked about. That's why it's like it's hard to say, but like. So with these Oscar films, a lot of the people haven't even got the chance to see it at their theater, but at least they have the option of seeing it at home. So at least it reaches more of an audience. So that's great. That's the plus side. But yes, these should be showing at like theaters, like Portrait of a Lady on Fire should be available to most places, you know, that kind of like has the market for it. But at least they could watch it on Hulu. They could watch Parasite on Hulu. Nomadland dropped on Hulu. At least they're able to see the movie at all around the time of the Oscars and not so much afterwards. And I know that I'm pretty sure the Academy actually already started their whole like rollout of like, if it has that dual streaming, I think it's not eligible anymore. So stuff like Dune wouldn't be eligible if they do release it on HBO Max and in theaters on the same day. It's if it comes out on theaters and then they put it to HBO Max later on, then it's eligible again. And I know something like Dune would probably definitely want to be eligible for the Oscars. So that's why I don't think that one's going to drop on HBO Max, which is odd though. And it's hard for HBO Max because they already advertised it as dropping on it. Like there's all these movies that they advertised as being like, this is going to come out on HBO Max. And now they might have to backtrack. And that's kind of shady. So I feel like they shouldn't have jumped the gun so quick saying like all 2020 or 2021 releases.
100%.
Now I think people
now
might be
it's
a
kind of
little mad.
biting them in the butt, bro. It's it's going to bite them in the ass so hard this summer, end of summer, and especially when it starts to get to like September and all those movies that want to be or need to be in theaters. I told you our RB3 last week, and we agreed that, you know, this whole HBO Max thing is kind of backfiring on you. At least I think it is, where I feel like either do 100% in theaters and 100% or 100% on streaming for free or with a fee. Or if you want to do the fee thing, at least it's fair where you can have people pay for it and have some sort of support for it. But I still am so curious, RB3, about the whole Space Jam thing. And I think Space Jam is going to be the biggest indicator. Space Jam and Suicide Squad, because I think Suicide Squad is going to be another one that could really backfire on your ass. If you're going to be like, oh, it's for free on streaming on HBO Max. And it's like, yo, bro, then I'm going to just watch this shit on my laptop.
Yeah.
Or on my phone, on the HBO Max app, and not go to the damn theater to see this new Suicide Squad when it could have made like 120 opening weekend or some shit. I don't know.
I mean,
we don't know because they're never going to release those numbers, and they're not going to release that. So
they'll release them if they're good. They'll release them if they're good. But I mean,
they have
Suicide Squad. We forget first Suicide Squad made like 300 million.
A lot of money.
Domestic,
made a
like
shit ton of money.
Like 700 worldwide. So
it was bad, and I feel like people
watched it.
Well, no, people watched it because they wanted to check it out, and like it's not a great movie, but the difference is with this one, it's like it has the same title. It's not like it's like Suicide Squad 2. It's like The Suicide Squad. It would be like I feel like if I wasn't like general audiences might be kind of confused about that because it's like what now these characters that we built up, we're not seeing them in the same universe that Harley Quinn has been in all these movies.
I actually am going to push back on that. I actually think that people, I've been thinking about this a lot, Sabrina. If people watch this like trailer, because I've been seeing the trailers pop up on the NBA so much, and if I just saw Suicide Squad, I don't know shit about anything else. I'm a casual fan, and I see Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, my first instinct is like, oh, it's the sequel. I'm not going to question the whole like, and I see the same Rick Flag too. I forget his name. Joe
Nobody
Kinnaman
remembers Rick Flag.
But I'm saying like
finish Suicide Squad and be like, yeah, Rick Flag.
It's still the sequel though. Like if I don't see Will Smith, I'm just going to be like.
But yeah, but they're changing so much of the story though. They kept Viola Davis. They did, but like there's characters that aren't going to be like a part of it. Sure. And I feel like with everything with like. Zack Snyder's Justice League versus Justice League and all of this that's been happening, if I'm a general audience, I'd be like, where the hell does this fit in? I feel lost completely because like we keep up with all this stuff constantly. So we hear about every single detail that comes out. But most people don't.
Most people can see the Harley is so iconic. You remember all the cosplays that came out that year? That was out of Suicide Squad. That people know Harley Quinn, and if they see Harley Quinn and they see Suicide Squad, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember watching that movie. I really liked her. I'm going to go see the sequel, and they're going to go see Suicide Squad. Like I feel like that's a popular branding that I feel like, like RB3 said, it made, how much did it make RB3? Because it did well in theaters when it came out, the first one.
It made something like 660 worldwide and 290 domestic.
People saw that damn movie. Like a lot of people say it's the Will Smith thing, but I feel like you could talk yourself into saying like, oh, so Will Smith isn't back. Who cares? You know, they got Idris Elba. They got Idris Elba.
Two things really quick. It's the DGA, so it's not the Oscars, but I do feel like the Oscars should add that as well. And since that came out, I feel like some people might be following suit because we're able to release stuff in theaters. So why would you not, with some of the stuff that you want to be eligible for the Oscars? I feel like that is important. And it's really, really positive to like preserve seeing some of these movies in theaters that you wouldn't necessarily see all the time. Like not the big budget, whatever it is, even though Dune is like a big budget. We're talking a little negative about it. I'm nervous. I hope it makes a ton of money at the box office and we get to see another one. But Denny, the history hasn't been great, even though the quality is there. I do expect this to be a quality film. I'm just nervous that it's not going to hit.
Denny.
No, the one movie that flopped was the one movie that was the one movie of his that flopped was the one movie that didn't do well. It wasn't good. So that's all I'm saying.
Bro, if you really like, I don't know. Bro.
All of his other movies are masterpieces. Arrival made a lot of money. All of his other movies are masterpieces.
Check it out again, bro.
I have. I've watched it so many times. I will say I'll commend certain scenes. I commend the Vegas, the scene when they're in Vegas or when they have the
and you still think it's garbage? You still think it's trash?
Yeah, in comparison to the first one,
trash,
yes,
garbage,
yes.
Like
it's a good piece of filmmaking on its own.
We're not talking Suicide Squad here. We're talking Blade Runner 2049.
It's a good piece of filmmaking.
And you're saying it's garbage,
but it's not Blade Runner. It's not Blade Runner. It shouldn't even be calling itself Blade Runner. That's craziness to me.
That's a take, bro. I don't even know if that's an.
It's not.
I don't even know if that's a take.
I know plenty of people who, I mean, this online thing, you know, YouTube comments, whatever. They'll say 2049 is a masterpiece. You talk to some professors, you talk to some people, they'll give you the same thing I'm saying. Like the like,
pretentious people.
Yeah, you know, the elites. I really when I watched the original Blade Runner in 1982, it was really truly a masterpiece. Yeah, really can't be replicated anyway. That's what I'm talking to when I'm talking about this film.
I don't like those people. I think 2049 is beautiful and it's a great movie. Anyways, let's get back to what we think as far
Black
as
Widow.
Yeah, I mean, if we want, let's do it. Fine.
Yeah.
It's only 53 minutes in.
Whatever. Okay. This is officially our review of Black Widow, the movie. Let's do a non-spoiler segment for the first 5 minutes and then a spoiler segment right after. How about that? Just in case anyone in the chat is still joining us and they haven't seen it.
Yeah. And make sure y'all tweet us out, retweet us, and get the word out that we're starting to review right now. Let's go.
Let's do it. Our review of Black Widow, we got a chance to see it. Sabrina just saw it last night. RB3 just saw it in 3D again. I saw it when it just came out. So let's do this. Who wants to start? Let's start with you, Sabrina. What did you, the most negative of us all, as far as going in, yes. What did you think of Black Widow, the movie? I
overall thoughts definitely really enjoyed it. And I was pleasantly surprised by most of it. Obviously, again, my biggest criticism with all of this, and something I still feel like after the movie was, okay, but now what? Who cares? Like, unfortunately, and I care about the movie and I love the movie, but why didn't this come out in phase 2? Why didn't it come out in phase 3? This should have happened a long time ago. Now it just feels like a consolation prize of being like, here's your Black Widow movie that you wanted. We had so many interesting things to come up or to like deal with this character. And we talked about it. We didn't really even deal with it because I feel like it has a lot of challenges because it's not an origin story. It's not like necessarily like a full like prequel to before we saw her in Iron Man 2. It's set between Civil War and Infinity War. The character's dead. There's not too much to offer. We didn't get into her past a lot unless it was like just dialogue talking about it. I really would have loved to see, after Iron Man 2, I would have loved to see a genuine origin story of Black Widow with everything she had to deal with her meeting Clint, all of that kind of stuff. And so this was something that I will continue on that thought in the spoiler, but this was something that I thought was good and I'm happy that it exists, but it doesn't add anything really except for like characters for the future of the MCU. That's it.
Characters that might become iconic though, right? At least I think.
Should have happened earlier though. And then in future Black Widow movies, we could have done like Black Widow 1, Black Widow 2, and then introduce these characters. But now for Scarlett Johansson, because I love her as an actress, I love her as Black Widow, but that's it. It's done. And we know the fate of her character and nothing is ever going to change that. And so it just, like I said, like the way it feels is just a consolation prize. But yes, the film overall, once we can really, really get into it, I had so much fun. I just wish I was watching it in like 2011 or something.
RB3, what did you think of Black Widow?
Oh.
Everyone loves the facial hair. It fits you well, Ace. All of you look great and seem to be doing well. I love the option to view films streaming, but theaters are amazing. IMAX is my favorite.
Wow, thank you. Who was that? RB3? And now that was a review of Black Widow.
Yeah, no, that was Mudbang Reviews. So thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. That was a great review of Black Widow. Thank you. We appreciate that quite a bit.
Just want to make sure I got that out before I said something. So Black Widow. I mean, I was hyped for this movie. I like the more earthy, more like physical, tactile Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. That's usually what I tend to gravitate to, my like taste wise. And when I walked into this, I was a little like hesitant because ScarJo, she's a little bit mixed, you know what I mean? She does a little, she's a little here and there sometimes with her comments. And I even remember when I saw Avengers Endgame, like at the early screening. And you know how at the end they have like that long credits where like every single character gets like their own like character card, card or whatever. Everybody was always clapping, oh, Iron Man, oh, Cap. And then when it came to Black Widow, there was a distinct silence. I was like, oh, that's kind of like awkward. I don't know. But I get it. Like she's not like the most. Like ScarJo herself's not like the whatever, but I like the character, and I like the whole like backstory. I like spy stories too, So at the end, I ended up really enjoying it. There are like some things that really like bug me. I think the accents in particular were the number one thing that kind of threw me off. I don't like when American actors or Russian actors or whatever, whenever somebody just tries an accent for an entire movie, and I don't know, it took me out every single time. Like I'm like, oh, can somebody just talk like somebody just deliver these lines?
They're
like
supposed to be Russian, though.
I mean, but they're not doing,
why does it bother you?
It wasn't convincing. Did y'all feel convinced by those accents? Did y'all feel convinced by them?
I did. I
them?
actually don't. I didn't have a problem with it.
David Harbour and
David Harbour's was okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he took
David Harbour.
And he's doing all these like crazy mannerisms and Florence Pugh. I'm like, yo, I don't know. So I'm like, it was masking the acting a little bit. And to me, I could really see like Florence Pugh like really going ham.
Blame Marvel CEO Ike Perlmutter for Black Widow being made late. Definitely works as a Phase 3 movie with its post-credits scene being for Endgame.
Yeah.
Ike Perlmutter. We've spoken.
Thank you, Tim Sim.
Thank you, Tim Sim. Thank you. Ike Perlmutter we spoke about in the past before of how problematic he is, and especially in the recasting of Terrence Howard, for Don Cheadle. But yeah, this movie ultimately the accents threw me off a little bit. I also thought the editing during some of the action sequences was a little extreme. You could really, really tell that these stunt performers were really putting their whole bodies behind it. You could really tell they were really knocking through walls and killing each other when they were like beating each other up. So I really appreciated it on that level. I just thought the editing was just a little too rapid in certain places. And, like y'all said, it is a little too late. Even though I think it is a relevant story in the sense of the thematic aspects that they're talking about in terms of like in terms of women's rights and in terms of like all these all of these themes that they were exploring deeply in this film. I think that part is relevant. I just think the other parts, in terms of the chronology of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it doesn't really give as much, added weight, except the post-credit scene, which I like the post-credit scene. So.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys feel like it needs to, though? Do you guys feel like we need to have something to fit the puzzle? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense or it doesn't make a good movie?
We don't need to have it to fit the puzzle, but I do think as with the MCU as a whole, that's it. Unfortunately, we're in a place where it kind of has to. So the fact that this entire movie isn't relevant except for adding new characters to the future of the MCU, like just completely, we have nothing else.
To Chili for my Willie donated $12.99. Where the white women at? Oh wait, wrong show.
Oh, shoot.
I was entertained by Black Widow seen it Thursday and Dolby Digital sitting in a comfy black recliner. Liked just enough to give the mouse house an extra $30 because I already...
Cut off a little bit there.
Part?
I have to give the mouse house an extra $30 because I already gave AMC $22 a month. I already give AMC $22 a month.
That's kind of what I said before, yeah. Good deal.
Yes,
what was What was homie's name again?
Too Chilly for my Willie. Thank you so much. And keep him rolling in. I think people were just excited to talk about Black Widow. So
yeah, people want to talk about this movie, man.
Yeah, get your thoughts in, man. First cut that live.
And I guess to answer your question, they're in the movie. They're in Black Widow, the movie.
I'm sorry.
He said, "Where the white women at?" Right?
Oh, they.
Don't you dare talk about. I was gonna make it. I can't do that. I was gonna Scarlett Johansson in the comments.
Yeah, don't you dare talk about Martin Luther King like that, ScarJo.
No. I'm like, don't you dare talk about the
Asian
tree,
woman.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. I was gonna go all that, but what I was saying earlier, just to quickly like finish that thought, is I feel like that is my biggest criticism, where it just feels way, way too late. And the most interesting part about her story is still very cool. And I agree 100% RB3 with what you said with like the thematic elements of it, where it's basically like trafficking for women to become trained killers. Like that is such an interesting story.
Yeah,
that's exactly what that is.
It's pretty timely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the whole idea of the red room and stuff like that. And I love that this was like small and contained. It made me so happy because I knew nothing about this story going into it. And so once we did, and it was like this revenge story kind of, but with all these different ideas that made it super, super empowering and impactful, because it wasn't revenge in a way that is negative and bad. You know, when sometimes it's just like, you're so filled with rage that you want to do that. And we saw a glimpse of it at one action she had in her past, where it was revenge that was based off of her rage. But then here it was for reasons to literally prevent other people from experiencing what she experienced.
And also revenge too.
And revenge, cool. but it wasn't just, it's not like just like she's like, I'm going to kill this person because this person did this. It was, I'm going to risk my life to make sure other people don't have to go through what I had to go through back in the day. But also, yes, is it very satisfying to watch this horror, like, we can't talk about that.
They really made you feel like this guy must die. Like it was some Commodus level, Commodus talking about Gladiator, where they just like, you know, keep twisting the knife and keep going. It's like, oh, you still think he's kind of okay? Well, now he raped a girl. Oh, you still now he's, and I'm just like, bro.
Yeah.
All right. I get it. I think you're trying to imply that we're cheering for him to die, which is like
it makes
kind of
sense,
fair.
though, because
it makes total sense.
For a person who can do all of these things to people. Yeah.
I would have killed him before
that. It makes sense where like this person is just literally 100% evil and has no other ambition than to literally make money off of these trained killers and do this and do deals and whatever it is. And it is genuinely so terrifying, the fact that it's also kind of realistic. And I'm so happy it wasn't like the world is over, the world is ending, blah, blah, blah. Because like the topic of like human trafficking and all that is very much so real. So like the whole trained assassin aspect, obviously I don't know about any of that, but like that's why I wish we had this origin story after Iron Man 2, where we could have seen Scarlett Johansson in this situation. We could have seen this action of what we saw. I don't want to spoil it, but the moment of her like revenge that happened in the past, could have seen all of that, could have seen something to just set it up. Because
no, totally. You're totally right. I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Oh no, it's good. I'm going to save the rest for spoiler, because I was
my thing too is like, I was going to say something. Oh yeah, what you said about stakes. I mean, a lot of people have been saying I like it because it's low stakes. I still think it's pretty damn high stakes, man. That's a lot of little girls on the line, and y'all are just kind of being like, "Oh, it's low stakes," and I'm like, "That's pretty damn high stakes." But I get it. It's not. The planet's going to explode. We have to stop the thingamajigga.
It's not like exploding. Every single person is going to die if we don't do this.
The universe is going to pop, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of like. I get it. It's fun, and that's where Marvel is going now, especially now with Loki and TVA and like all this crazy cosmic stuff that's been going on now, which is cool, and I like it. But I'd love grounded, you know, kind of grounded, because I'm going to go to some stuff that maybe is not so grounded, but grounded level type stories where it's not the universe is going to explode, which is kind of, you know, repetitive, especially inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I'll push back a tiny bit, Sabrina, on the whole character aspect, because I feel like that's kind of what most standalone Marvel movies are. Like the only thing new they gave us was like a new character. Isn't that what Ant-Man is? Kind of.
But it adds to, because Ant-Man's continuing on. But
that's what I'm saying. So is Yelena, right?
But I mean, not side characters. It's not like a side character.
That's not a spoiler. I feel like most people know Yelena is in the movie.
But the point of Iron Man 2 is not just to put Black Widow into the MCU. There is an actual point that is relevant to the entire MCU. This, literally, the only thing we're going to get out of this is possibly new characters.
Movie. I feel
but if we had Black Widow at that time, it could have been interesting. If we just had Scarlet in like a first Black Widow origin movie, and then we have like a Black Widow 2, and we dive into like literally this movie could have existed as like Black Widow 2, and then we introduce Florence Pugh, and that's not a spoiler because she's in the movie, and then we introduce somebody like her into the MCU, even if it took years to get to the point of like making a Black Widow 2, at least we still would have had an interesting first Black Widow movie, and not something that was just to service like one little character that is going to become a huge character, but wasn't a part of anything yet. But I do, yes? What were you
No, I agree 100%. But I really do feel like if you're not a fan of ScarJo or Black Widow, I don't necessarily feel like that's a reason to not watch the movie, because I feel like she kind of gets outshined anyway. And I feel like Yelena, Red Guardian, Rachel Weisz, whoever you want to say, is already kind of, you know, a cool little side piece in that movie, that ScarJo's kind of there to tell you what the plot is. You're right, we don't get much of her backstory at all, except for with Yelena, and except for spoken being, I was going to say spoken word and lyrics. I meant like the dialogue is only that what we get from her. So
can we jump to spoiler? Because I have something about, okay, so we're going to officially jump to our spoiler review for Black Widow 2.
Wait,
if that's okay.
There's
not
a super
about
chat that came in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry. One more time. All right. Tim Sim said, obviously I would have rewatched it in between Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 after Civil War. And I would really love to see his brilliance. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And so if like Black Widow 2 came out after Civil War, awesome. If this movie was Black Widow 2 and it came out after Civil War, hell yes, I am 100% here for this. But what I was going to say is that time jump. So, we're on spoilers now. We have a huge time jump. And I think, again, we glossed over the 21 years. Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah. So it completely glossed over everything that I wanted to hear and see more about what she experienced through her lens, through her eyes, through her perspective, because we get it. We see kind of like you said, like through the dialogue, we're getting glimpses of everything that she went through, everything that they went through. Like, we've seen her mention it in the past with like the hysterectomies and different things like that, and how they're literally just trained killers. But I would have liked to have seen this movie before, because I do think its detriment is the fact that it does not have any stakes in the MCU. We know she's going to survive the film. We kind of figure if they're going to have somebody like Florence Pugh in this movie, she's going to survive this film and she's going to continue on in the MCU. And Natasha's story is basically gone. I like that we have this chapter that is kind of put in of something amazing that she did that we didn't really hear much about. And it also adds more weight to everything that she went through in Infinity War and Endgame, because it's very clear that I'm just assuming that they were all snapped, because obviously we didn't see them. And her turmoil in Endgame is that much even like more deep. But before even the time jump, I love the fact that it opened with Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. I love that rendition of it. I thought it was so haunting. It set everything up so perfectly. And I loved like little badass, like grunge Natasha with like the blue hair. I thought that was so freaking cool. And yeah, so I really, really like that intro besides the time jump, but it makes sense for this movie. I just would have liked to see what she had to deal with in the Red Room.
Yeah, we never saw that. We only saw those glimpses from, was it Avengers? No, it was Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
And I think, I think what they briefly alluded to in Age of Ultron, they kind of like outwardly expanded here. I mean, they kind of, you kind of talked about it a little bit in previous weeks, Sabrina, about the movie with
Red Sparrow?
Yeah, Red Sparrow. Yeah, with Lawrence.
It's literally Red Sparrow.
It's Red Sparrow.
Or Red Sparrow is.
It's like this is more like a Disney
This came
vibe.
first.
Well, I mean, did this come first? I don't know.
The comic did.
Yeah, I mean, but this isn't based like directly on one comic. I mean, I'd probably say it's probably more.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can't tell me Francis Lawrence didn't know about Black Widow before making Red Sparrow.
I mean, yeah, of course, but I don't think he was setting out to make a Black Widow movie. I don't know. I think that's.
Was he not?
I don't know. I mean, it's not fucking Black Widow.
I mean, he did it so that we could have it as an audience. We have our
Russian
Black Widow movie, and that's Red Sparrow.
Yeah,
train women who happen to be trained assassins.
He did it so he could get Jennifer Lawrence naked in the movie, and that's why. That's seemingly the reason why people seem to do movies these days. I'm looking at you, Darren Aronofsky. But Mother, come on.
Was she making her mother? I forget.
Yeah. She was getting beat up.
I saw it with you.
Yeah. I was gonna say we saw it together. We were traumatized together. Yeah.
We were.
We saw a lot of crazy movies together, Sabrina. I'm telling
you.
We did. Yeah, for real. Sorry to bother you.
I think we both did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I think we both liked Mother. Right?
Yeah, I loved it.
I thought we both. I was gonna say I think we liked Mother.
No, I definitely did.
I remember the guy next to us was mad though.
Oh yeah, no, it's divisive. I remember Brian. You remember Brian Perez? He was like the biggest fan of Mother. He was like,
oh no, he loved it. You're right.
No, he was like, he was. Everybody else.
Someone who hated it.
I think
But I feel like the guy next to us was not happy about it.
No.
Anyway,
nobody was. I think we're the only three people that are collectively on one panel and agree that Mother is kind of okay.
Yeah. I think we're all for it. But I'm saying all that for Red Sparrow. Back to Black Widow. Even though it's not like the most like original. It's not like the most like original film. I do think it does.
To push back on that a little, just to finish this, it is in a comic. Just to be fair to you and to be fair, you're right, but it's still a comic.
I think
it's still literally that.
I think there's probably some real life women spies somewhere too that they probably like talk to for Red Sparrow. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not. Sure. I just don't. I can't compute. I can't compute the movie studio reading some Black Widow comics and like making that into a movie. I don't know. I just maybe that's just me, but I think when it comes to this, I think it does push the edge a little bit, especially for a Disney movie. Like I think like for a Disney movie to kind of like really dive deep into like what they're diving deep into. I think that's really dope. And I think like, you know, a lot of times, like you said, Ace, a lot of times they kind of give like villains like this redeemable factor ish to them. But I think there's that moment at the end where, spoiler alert, where you see like the helicopter blow up and him and all of his soldiers are in it. And you just see that burst of fire. And then in 3D, the glasses are like flying towards the camera. I'm like, oh, they did that like an extra cartoony depth to make sure you knew this guy was gone.
Yeah, if this was a Jurassic Park movie, he was going to get eaten alive and started screaming by dinosaurs. It happens in every damn Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah,
where there's like a villain and you're like, oh, this guy's gonna get eaten by 20 dinosaurs and his arm's gonna get ripped off and his eyeballs it's gonna be the most excessive death.
Yeah, or a helpless babysitter.
That's the
or
one.
Helpless girl who randomly gets killed for absolutely no reason in the most horrific way.
She gets killed.
She's
like, it's like, oh, she's gonna die.
Dumbest,
oh, she's gonna die again. Oh, she's really gonna die. And just kept going. It was horrible, but I don't like Jurassic World movies.
But yeah, it definitely is. You're right. It does touch on certain things that I feel a little bit more real when it comes to like the spy thing and the abuse thing and you know, brainwashing thing. Speaking of that, what did you guys think of? We have to talk about the mind control thing. What did you guys think of that? Because that right off the bat, I was like, mind control? That's not. Natasha was never mind controlled. And she says that, but eventually we find out that Yelena was mind controlled. Does that kind of cheapen it a little, or do you guys feel like that made sense?
I personally loved it because I loved how she talked about they were basically like her generation of like the Red Room women and beforehand were psychologically tortured and manipulated into doing the things that they did. And I like that now they made it a point where they literally are absolutely incapable of not doing the things. Like it does not matter because in certain situations, like what we see with Florence Pugh's character when she's going after the one girl and then she finally gets that, you know, she gets the red stuff and she knows her and she feels remorse. You know, if you psychologically manipulate people, you can turn people into bad humans. But the second she gets out of that, she sees that 100% she just killed somebody that she knows and she just killed her friend. And when you're psychologically manipulated, you might already have that kind of twist and turn. So it made it that much more evil that they genuinely have no control over their bodies whatsoever.
Yeah, but it also kind of made it to where Yelena is slightly more redeemable in an audience's eyes because she literally had no control versus someone like a Natasha who was more brainwashed to do it, who felt that guilt. Whereas Yelena could be like, oh, well, it wasn't me. Literally wasn't me. It was literally, I was a puppet. So I can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like the blood arc on her hands.
Though. That's fairly new technology. I think she's still, because they were saying she was like the best baby assassin.
Yeah.
So she was still being an assassin when she was young, and she had that choice. So there's still immense guilt regardless, and you can make any character like redeemable. Like, yes,
I
Natasha has some
100%.
horrible
I'm
things.
shocked. I mean, we could jump to this right now, but I'm shocked Rachel Weisz and David Harbour are still alive at the end of the movie, because they made sure to let you know they were evil. They literally sold their 2 random little girls into slavery and were like, yo, deuces, little girls. And then when he broke him out of prison, you sold little girls into slavery. Dead ass.
What you're putting
and then when you broke him out of
familiar
prison,
with it.
he was like, hey, my favorite bitches are here. And I was just like, well, this guy's got no. This guy's got no, but I'm saying, like, you could tell he's.
What movie are you watching?
But I'm saying, like, in that scene, they made a point to say, like, he didn't give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Like, he never did. He's like, I never cared about you. I did it for the job, and I want to have excitement. I don't give a shit about the little girls. Like, he just...
No, I would...
I was like, this guy could die.
No, I'll push back a little bit on that. I will push back a little bit on that, because I thought that the first time around, but on the second viewing, I paid close attention. When they first come to break him out of prison, and we first looks up the helicopter, the very first words he says is, my daughters. And it's like, oh, he...
In a sarcastic...
No, like, he was being like genuine. Like, my daughters are breaking me out. Like, oh my god, like
slavery.
I don't. So that's the part. That's the part of the movie that
literally human slaves.
I think that's the part of the movie that I think they kind of muddled a little bit. I think they should be. They should have been a little more clear. I don't know if they were the actual people who kidnapped the kids. And to me, it seemed like it was just an assignment. Like they were placed into.
They gave him kidnapped kids, but they still literally gave them into slavery.
But also, we're just exactly what we were just talking about, psychological manipulation and stuff like that. So I don't think they're necessarily bad people. They did bad things because they're all manipulated.
But I still feel like they did make it a way to where it's like that scene with Rachel Weisz, for example, where she's like, look, I made my control. I kill pig. I do not give shits. And Yellen is like, what the fuck? Like, they did that to me and I killed like 100 people. And I literally was like crying through it, like some Get Out type shit. Like, that's some evil shit.
To me, I don't know how complacent they were in the whole operation.
None, absolutely none. They were brainwashed into doing. They were literally mind control.
But I'm talking about the parents. I'm talking about Rachel Weisz and David Harbour. Like, I don't think like when Rachel Weisz
country or whatever.
Well, yeah, they think they were just doing. Like
that.
he said like he was just literally just doing it to get back into the Red Guardian costume. He was just doing a 3-year assignment to get back into Red Guardian costume.
He thought it was the right thing.
Yeah, and she when Elena explains to her exactly what happens, and then later on when Natasha explains to her, she literally has no idea that they were doing all this the whole time. She thought she was messing with the pigs, and that's why they kept her remote, because she had no idea what she was like actually capable of. But once she found that out, then she decided to like backstab Drabo. So I do get that, like they do give him a little bit of redemption, but I don't know if both of them were as complacent. I think about that show, The Americans. I don't know if y'all seen that show, The Americans, with Kerry Russell and somebody else is on FX.
I've heard of it, but I haven't.
It's a really, really brilliant show. I watched like the first 2 seasons, and it's like 5 seasons total. But it's literally about the same thing. It's about some Russian spies who start a nuclear family inside of America, and like in the beginning, it seems like a job, but over the course of years, it becomes a family. Like it becomes a real tight knit family that you become part of, and it's kind of a more like unique-ish concept. I think they're kind of playing with in this movie, and we're talking about family
I totally
movies,
get it. And by the end of the movie, I'm kind of like, I'm with it, right? I'm just like, yeah, I fuck with the Red Guardian. But I'm saying like during the film, they kind of make it a point to make you feel like, oh, they were just doing a job and they had to do their job, and they sold little girls into slavery because they had to. And they did this whole thing, but they're still like kind of bad guys. It's like a Zemo thing, right? Where you're like, I fuck with Zemo, but he's still like, yo, he's still kind of a bad guy. But I still fuck with Zemo.
Zemo, they made a little too redeemable, I feel like. And
Zemo was the shit. Zemo is like,
I mean, he's also a terrorist.
Zemo, that little thing where it says Zemo, like the little, like I prefer, like to me, Zemo, Captain America.
I don't see. Look,
I prefer Zemo over Captain.
Look at what you're talking about.
What?
He's talking about look at the way he talked about Carly too in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's like, Carly's my hero. Like they should have killed her. What side are you on, Ace? What side are you on?
I'm on the non-nationalistic side, on empirical side.
I don't know, man. You're on a little extreme for me, man. They killing people out here, and you're just like, that's cool.
It's not the killing people part. It's the fact that they're just like John Walker, American soldier, redeemed, and they're like fuck Carly, pop, 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 pop. And I'm just like, John Walker killed a motherfucker wearing the Captain America suit, and I was just like, this isn't right, but. All right, I guess Bucky's giving him a high five at the end, and it's cool.
I think in this one, they made every person redeemable that had the opportunity to be. I think the family, it makes sense. Sometimes we've seen stories and like...
No, I like that. My point is, I did like that, Sabrina, to be clear. I just want to point it out. To me, I was like, man, these are bad people. And then by the end, I was like, yeah, I fuck with them. They're cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because it's so complicated and like there's so much like moral gray area, which I find to be so much more interesting and like complex and a better discussion rather than like black and white. Like this person's good, this person's bad, and we're just gonna establish that, whatever. The actual villain, yeah, he's horrible. But in this one, I'm like, David Harbour, Red Guardian, is funny, but like if they killed him off, it wouldn't upset me. I wouldn't cheer for it. It wouldn't upset me. I'd just be like, yeah, it makes sense. Like whatever. He's kind of done a lot of shitty stuff. But I mean, he's been in prison for like 22 years at that point. He's just kind of chilling. He had all these dreams of basically being like a Captain America, and he very clearly like over exaggerates his own like abilities back in the day and what he accomplished because he never got that. So he's like living vicariously through this daughter that he had that is actually genuinely an Avenger. They mentioned the fact that she's an Avenger so much, which makes sense. But I thought that was kind of a positive to it, that if they killed Rachel Weisz or David Harbour, I wouldn't care either way, but
That's my point. Yeah, absolutely.
They're there because we can utilize them in a future story for some reasons, because clearly when it comes to technology, when it comes to David Harbour's ability and his superpowers, they definitely add so much to the possibility of the future of the MCU. I still say Hawkeye should have died in Endgame, whatever.
No, but I still feel like that's a great point, where I felt like that's kind of what I liked about the movie in a way, was like at any point they made you feel like every single person you're seeing on screen that you're rooting for has done awful things. 2 of them sold little girls into slavery, and 2 of them were trained killers. At any point, you could be like, I imagine I could see MCU or Kevin Feige justify killing any of them. And it was kind of exciting to see a movie like that, because I was like, oh, they might kill David Harbour, or they might kill Rachel Weisz in like a cool epic scene. And they never did, but it was one of those things where I was like, oh, it's kind of cool to see like kind of anti-heroes kind of go on a mission to take down a bigger villain who's like a pure despicable human being who has to die because he's so damn evil, to the point where I was like, I thought that was kind of cool. It's not like the more goody two-shoe Peter Parker, Steve Rogers type guy. It was definitely more, a little more gritty in that sense. So
yeah.
RB3, why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I see hours is making jokes. He said Aces have confirmed. Somebody said Putin is the real life Red Guardian. Zeno Hour also said leave Jeremy Renner alone, Sabrina. So yeah, a lot of good stuff here.
A lot of people like Jeremy Renner, huh?
Yeah, he's cool.
Well, box office wouldn't tell you that. Look at like the Bourne movie he did. I don't know, people. I think they overestimate.
I think his TV show is going to be awesome.
Hollywood overestimates love for Jeremy Renner just a little too much. I would have loved the exact opposite. I would have loved if his character died in Endgame and we get like a part of the prequel in Hawkeye before he dies, and then it's passed to Haley Steinfeld. So much cooler.
Cool.
So
That's
better.
a cool idea. Yeah,
Well,
I'm cool with either. But
alive.
I'm cool with either. I think this will work. And I feel like at the end they set up Yelena kind of going after him, which kind of leads up to the show, which is also kind of a cool thing too, because we saw how powerful she can be, which is why it's kind of cool to have Florence Pugh in there.
That's some bull though. Like, how's she gonna frame that story? Like Hawkeye killed Black Widow. No, he didn't. He literally fought to the end. He literally fought to the end to keep her alive. He
tried not to kill her, but he killed her.
No.
He did not.
He literally grabbed her hand.
I'll defend him this once, and I'll say he did not kill her directly.
I mean, he was like, "Oh, gotta let you go."
No.
Well, you could only hold on for so long.
That's true.
She dropped
Hey,
herself.
Batman pulled freaking Ra's al Ghul on one hand. Straight up.
Nah.
One thing I want to mention, I really liked a lot of the action and the set pieces and things like that. They were getting tore up. Black Widow and Yelena.
Yeah, when they were fighting, that was dope.
RB3 said accents took him out of the movie, which I thought is kind of a weird comment, but whatever. Because I love accents, and I thought their accents worked for the most part. Mm-hmm. What took me out of the movie, Sabrina, I'm so glad you brought it up, was like freaking 115-pound Scarlett Johansson and 100-pound Florence Pugh falling out of buildings, crashing into cars.
Yeah, that's crazy. And just
I was
away.
like, how can you survive a 5-story drop? No way. And she's just like, okay. Anyways, and I was like, you should be dead, bro. Like dead.
Yeah, even at the end.
I thought about that, but
even in the beginning, where she was fighting on the bridge against Taskmaster, I was like, death. Right away.
No,
death.
Broken
spine.
I thought at the end, when the widows had her pinned down, they were just all like beating the crap out of her. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. She should be walking away like looking like Creed at the end of Creed 2 or something like that. No,
she should be dust.
Like it should be crazy.
Dust. Just dust.
Yo, but we saw F9. If Tyrese could stay alive through all of that, so can our Black Widow. Like she is resilient. It didn't bother me. It was just something that I noticed throughout the entire film. I was like, she is absolutely getting tore up 100%. When she was falling, like you said, like 5 stories, but she's hitting stuff on the way down. She didn't just fall 5 stories. She's violently hitting stuff all the way down.
Like
I'm cool with it.
Broken spine, will never be able to walk, or dead. Either one.
But at the same time, I mean, logic doesn't really matter with these films because
it doesn't.
They were going up against Thanos and stuff like that. Like,
it's fine.
She can't go up. Her and Hawkeye and the few other like humans, they can't go up against like threats at that level, and they're going to continue throughout the entire MCU in the future. There's gonna be a lot of people like Haley Steinfeld in Hawkeye and like different things like that. They're probably, regardless, like Young Avengers, whenever they like do all of that, they're gonna be going up against high level threats. So the humans, I guess they're just very, very resilient.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked by that, to be completely honest. But again, I forgave it after a good 30 minutes. But I was definitely like, yo, dead again. I counted how many times she died.
What did you guys think about Taskmaster?
Loved Taskmaster.
Loved her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her. And I'm surprised. Apparently, a lot of people are mad it's a her, because in the comics it's a dude.
Of course, they're mad it's a her.
Yeah. I mean, that's always what happens in these kind of situations.
Isn't that kind of weird, y'all? I mean, can we just talk about the elefante in the room? The fact that people are mad at this movie because it stars a girl.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I saw comments like that. They're like, I'm not gonna watch a movie about a girl, and I'm just like,
that's
what?
dumb.
But those are literally those are idiots. At least it's not like the general audience that thinks that. That is just a very vocal group of dumb people that are like, I'm not gonna see a movie because it has a girl. Wait, girls fight? It's like, if Jeremy Renner can fight, so can Scarlett Johansson. I saw
a dude be like, yo, Black Widow was great, man, but that was a lot of ass shots in the movie. I thought it was directed by a woman, and I was like, it was directed by a woman. I'm pretty sure she just wanted ass shots in it too.
Well, and that's fun. It's funny because they're talking about in the chat. Like,
did you catch that too?
Well,
RB3?
No,
RB3?
not necessarily.
Oh, you lie, bro. Not necessarily. What?
I was. Ace always be making fun of me with my thirst trap Viking or whatever.
Yeah, bro.
But I
over here commenting like with kiss emojis and heart eyes.
Hey, thank you, JC Almighty, for subscribing. People in the chat earlier were talking about if this movie would have been made in like 2010, right? And they're talking about, I would have set up for the Avengers, all that. Yo, if this movie would have been made in 2010, it would have been the most hypersexualized version of this movie you would have imagined. It probably would have been directed by Michael Bay. It probably would have been or Whedon or something. Like it probably would have been. Yeah. It probably would have been something in that vein. Like it would have been a lot of booty shots, a lot of men landing on their tits and like landing here. I'm sorry. Like it probably would have been a lot of that. So I'm glad now that at least in 2021 we can get an actual woman director who actually can get the sensibility and like actually
so many great female directors.
Yeah,
I'm so glad they had one.
And shout out to
we have like Nia DaCosta coming up with Captain Marvel 2 and different things like that. So the future is bright for a lot of these women-led superhero films and women-directed superhero films, whatever it be, whether it's Chloe Zhao's Eternals, different things like that I'm very, very excited for. Low-key. But the thing is, like, if we had a good movie in phase 2, that's when I would have wanted it. Obviously, if it actually came out, I do agree with you. It probably would have been directed by like a Whedon or something like that, which would be very, very unfortunate. But if they could have tapped into that and made a good film at the end of phase 2 and actually did justice for the character, I would have preferred it. But to go back to my question about Taskmaster, I loved Taskmaster. I don't know anything about Taskmaster from the comics, but seriously, like, for this being my first time really being introduced to the character, I love the tie-in that it had. It's not just a bad person who wants to do whatever. This is somebody who is directly affected by both Scarlett Johansson and the villain of the film. By both people, by our good guy and our bad guy. This person's life has been changed forever. How can you even complain about that? I think that is so badass and brilliant, genuinely brilliant writing to have this person be this way. And you know, if somebody put a hit on my house because of my dad and I was collateral damage, as she said, and I didn't actually end up dying and I was alive, I'd probably be pretty damn pissed.
No,
but
the thing is,
exactly. Yeah. But the thing is, she doesn't even have that choice within herself because her dad's already controlling her to do this regardless. So maybe it kind of goes in that area of like, she survived, she went through what she did, but at the end of the day, she's still being controlled by her dad. I think that is absolutely incredible. He said, like, and this just shows the detachment that they have that we kind of saw with David Harbour and Rachel Weisz. But he's like, this is my number one weapon. That's how he described his daughter. I thought it was really, really brilliant, interesting. Also, she didn't die. She could come back. And now we have this weight to the character.
I mean,
I want to, go ahead, Arthur.
Oh, no, I mean, that's also what I want to say about Taskmaster. It's also what I want to say about Taskmaster too. Like, you know, changing the backstory to fit like the narrative of this film, I think is actually really fitting. Because, you know, I think a lot of people are mad because of the woman thing. I think a lot of people are also mad because of, I guess, the character in the comics is like, you know, just some random dude who is like memorizing all this stuff by like himself. Is no like computer software. Yeah. But honestly, like, I think people look at like these comic book villains and they think they're cool, but they're really just kind of two-dimensional. Like, there's not really a lot of motivation.
It's cool. It's a cool concept.
It's a cool concept. That's
why it can be changed, because it's a really cool concept.
It's a cool concept, but at the same time, like, I'd rather have a villain that serves the story and serves the emotional arc of the characters than to just have some random dude be like, oh, I have photographic memory, like, I'm just gonna hunt Black Widow for no reason. Like, I think it's better to have it that way. And plus, in doing it this way, like, the way they set it up is a computer program, like, basically mixed in with a person's software. Now you can actually have an actual John Masters or Tony Masters or whatever his name is actually be like somewhere else in like New York and being like, oh my gosh, I just saw this on the news, I gotta replicate it myself. And freaks it like that. Like, I think that's another possibility where it could go too. Or she could be our recurring Taskmaster. I think there's just such a great villain. I would love to see Taskmaster appear in like other movies too. So
yeah, I love Taskmaster, and I wanted to go back to a comment. I'm gonna give you credit. Joseph Weeks said that the only thing is that they wanted to see more of her. And I agree 100%. I want to give me one last fight scene where she fights because I thought that last fight scene, I was like, oh, here we go. Taskmaster's going to go nuts. She's going to go Cap, Hawkeye, Black, like she's going to just bring it all out straight up Ra's al Ghul style. And then she just punched the vial and exploded. And I was like, oh, crap. All right, that was quick. I was hoping it would be like a Yelena and Natasha versus Taskmaster, like a Bucky and Cap versus Tony, like a double up, and she'd just be like pulling out like the Black Panther and then the arrow. And I just thought it would have been sick. Like, I just had like an imagination of like how much more you can do with it, and they just kind of quickly ended it. And I thought another beat, to go on your point, Sabrina, because you're really spot on with this, is that you still blew me up. I thought it would have been kind of cool that she broke it and released her, and then she was still like, yeah, but you still effing killed me. and straight up just pulled out her sword and still went at it. And I was like, that would have been even cooler.
I think that actually would have been cooler if we saw something like that. And then there's, after a minute, is like a moment of like realization. Like at the same time that she like permanently altered her life, now she just saved it. And so, which still is the case, but we didn't have that where she came back and she was pissed. Like she still survived. And cool. I think, and at that point, I think you're just more mad at your father than anything. Cause she probably just would have been one of the girls that are in that situation the same way as them. Even if she didn't get about to be like blown up by Scarlett Johansson. Like, you know, there's so much there. And I think it's genuinely like rich. And yeah, we didn't see enough. I honestly could have done like 10 more minutes of this movie. I could have done 10 more minutes added into that third act, kind of like what you were talking about. I would have been fine seeing it because I think it was like 2:15.
Yeah, give me a tiny bit more punching and kicking and a little less explosions, and I would have been pretty happy.
I love those explosions. I hate it. I love seeing
it's just CGI.
I love seeing the explosions when people are running away from the explosions. That's always the coolest shots. And they did it twice back to back. They did it with Elena. I'm like, oh, and then like literally 2 seconds later, they did it with Black Widow. I'm like, yes, let's go.
I'm good. I'd rather see martial arts. I like martial arts better. I think it's way cooler.
I gotta say, seeing it in 3D, that end sequence where they're all falling from the sky and everything's falling, that was dope. That was super, super dope in 3D. If people still care about 3D and want to see that sequence in 3D, that's dope. And also, like, the conversion wasn't bad either. A lot of times 3D movies don't be looking good, but this is a good conversion. So.
Yeah. What was your last point, Sabrina? Hopefully I didn't cut you off.
No, I think that's basically, I could have done a little bit more, but I do kind of have a feeling that we're going to see more of Taskmaster.
Sure.
So I really hope that's the case, because I don't know how much Rachel Weisz and David Harbour are going to kind of be in this, but obviously we're going to see more Yelena. Like there's absolutely no doubt. So I am very, very interested to see the directions that they go, especially after the post-credits scene, which I don't know what your guys' thoughts about that are.
I mean, it's just set up for the Hawkeye show, and then maybe for what is that show called that was on Netflix, RB3?
Defenders?
Defenders. A Defenders-style mashup of all the TV shows so far, kind of coming together.
Avengers.
Yeah, what do you guys feel about... Okay, let's talk like big picture wise when it comes to actors. What do you guys feel about making Florence Pugh a TV actor after that performance? Because a lot of people are like clamoring to see more Yelena and to see her hopefully on the big screen, but I feel like the big screen is becoming too big for her. Like she doesn't fit inside this galactic war that we're going to see, and that she'll fit inside the little Marvel TV universe, which has kind of become its own thing. How do you feel about that?
I don't think that's the worst thing. I mean, if you look at who's in this universe so far, I mean, we're looking at Richard E. Grant, Tom Hiddleston.
I mean, he lasted an episode.
I know, but I mean, Anthony Mackie,
Richard E. Grant.
Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen. Like, we're getting the top tier Marvel stars and like top tier stars and cameos on these shows. And I think these shows are looking like they're only going to last one season anyway, which to me is like brilliant. I think that they should continue just doing these little one series, like mini series kind of things. And if it's just one season of Hawkeye, I don't think that like hurts her career. I'm gonna be honest. You know, it's kind of funny. Like, I liked Black Widow a lot, and you know, I'm always like like MCU. These are Marvel movies. These aren't like TV shows.
Guys, give me 1 second.
Yeah, you get. The Marvel movies aren't, you know, they're movies, not TV shows. Stop calling them serialized or whatever. But part of me was like, dang, this would be a good TV show, wouldn't it? Like Black Widow would be kind of a dope like TV show instead of a movie.
Same thought. Yeah. I had the exact same thought as you. I'm so happy you brought that up.
Yeah, and I feel like there's literal parts of I mean, there's parts of it that I'm like, I would love to see that explored more. Like I would love to see the Budapest, like you said, adventure, like the actual adventure explored itself with Hawkeye. Like I would love to see, like they use the de-aging stuff a little bit. Like I would love to see a whole episode of just the family dynamic when they were just family. Like that's kind of the benefit of TV, I guess. I guess we're kind of spoiled with that, but yeah.
The family, the Red Room, we could have had like an episode, the same thing with Elizabeth Olsen, where we have that one episode that everybody thought was like filler and ended up being my favorite one, where we go back into all these different moments and see parts of her life that we would never in a film. Get that with Scarlett Johansson. Give us one episode of what she experienced in the Red Room and how it changed her. It could be like a few flashbacks or whatever. I just definitely want to see more. I had that exact same thought while watching this movie. I do wish, since it's like so late, do a TV show. But since this is what we got, I'm happy that it exists. I'm happy that we were able to see, like a female-led superhero film, basically, that really does cover topics that are genuinely so complex, so interesting, stuff that you would never really think that they would deal with. Because in any Avengers film, they're not going to be dealing with like human trafficking. They're always dealing with like the world is exploding. Someone's making this biohazard weapon and this and this and this and this and this. So the fact that we got a story like this that is genuinely just a great spy film, a great film that like focuses on this like weird surrogate family, this weird Russian family that's sitting there chugging vodka around the table. Besides, I don't know, like the MCU humor was kind of threw me off a little bit tonally, just because this is very, very deep. And there'd be some parts that were very emotional, and then they would deflect it with the humor because it's uncomfortable. So it made sense, but at the same time, I was like, let it live and breathe in this moment.
Let it be as dark as it is. Let it be as dark as it sounds, because it is dark, right? Is that how you felt? That's kind of how I felt too, where I was like, we're talking about some dark shit, and then we have to break it because it's way too fucking dark. And I was like, don't break it. Let it be fucking dark. Yeah, I don't know.
There was a couple of dark jokes in there that I thought were really funny, like when Red Room was like, you're an Avenger. You're the worst, deadliest killer. Your ledgers are probably dripping in blood. Like, I don't know why. That just
you're the biggest killers in the world. And I was like,
that's funny.
Yeah, they are. Hell yeah.
I also loved Elena's like hair flipping thing that kept going back. That was hilarious. That just gets me every time.
I mostly worked. I just wish they just let a little bit more time in some of these moments to the severity of the issues are there 100%. It shows how serious it was. But then it switches humor, but it kind of makes sense because my Polish family is the exact same way. They'll talk about like the deepest, darkest things, and then 2 seconds later it's just like a vodka shot, and then they make some stupid joke about something else. So I'm like, you know what, it's kind of fitting for the characters too, so it makes sense a little bit.
No, I was gonna say too, like, to kind of go back to your point as far as the stakes thing, as far as like why this movie felt so different, I also kind of feel like, to be honest, kind of going back on your thing, RB3, is like, imagine if someone actually said it to you in a real world scenario, in a real world case, where someone says to you, hey, did you know there's like thousands of little orphan girls who are being literally mind controlled to murder people constantly, and they cannot control their actions, and they have control of even the most minute aspects of being a human being and being alive. I would say that's more important to me than if someone says, hey, the bomb's gonna go off inside the bridge and the bridge will kill 1,000 people. And I'm like, yeah, but there's people who are getting literally tortured every single minute of their breathing day who happen to be young girls. I think that's kind of worse over like the bomb's gonna go off in the bridge. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like the stakes are like much more darker and higher in that scenario. I don't know if you guys felt that way too, where I was like, this feels more important than like, even if someone said like a bomb was going off somewhere else, I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fixing this first.
Yeah, my man Miles called the bad guy Russian R. Kelly, and I was like, yeah, that's totally true. Which, yeah, you gotta get that guy locked up under the jail.
Russian R. Kelly, bro. Yeah. R. Kelly.
Yeah, R.R.S. Kelly is out there. Is that the
his name? It has his little like nameplate on the desk, and it's just like a little Easter egg where it says
Red
like
Kelly. Yo, I'm Red Kelly.
Red Scare Kelly, we out here.
Red Scare Kelly, I like that.
That's hard though. But at the same time, it is kind of hard. But at the same time, I feel like, I felt like that was definitely a lot more important, which is also why I kind of like to kind of go back and to just finish this off. I know you guys got mad at me when I said this, but still, you still kind of sold 2 little girls into slavery, y'all. Like, that's still what happened, though. I mean, you did.
But then they saved everybody.
They felt bad, and they saved everyone, and I'm cool with it. I forgave them. But I'm just saying, it still is kind of like,
I get so bored by like the Supermans and even sometimes Captain America. When he got a little rugged, I was like, okay, finally. I get bored of like just being so good all the time. I want a little bit of that complexity to the character. I want those layers of being like a little bit morally gray sometimes, where it's like maybe they did one thing not the best in the past. Look at Tony Stark's past, and then the way we ended off with the character. Like he was greedy, he was a douchebag, he continued to be a douchebag, but with a heart of gold. So like, you know, we have his sacrifice later. I find that to be much more interesting than somebody who is just so good all the time and they have no cracks in their armor. Because even though heroes are supposed to be people that we look up to, in times like this, they're human. All of these people are human.
Absolutely. And I always feel like there's levels to it, to where it's cool to see one different version, because I'm a big fan of Superman. He's always been my favorite superhero. I've said that many times, because I really do feel like what that represents is important. And also as a fan of like anime stories, because anime stories are all like anti-heroes. They're all like, yo, if you gotta chop someone's head off, just do it. YOLO, hashtag YOLO. Like they're really like
that.
That's how they are. And you would love anime, because it's literally all like, oh, you killed that girl? Cut your head off. Like it's so like, and there's nothing in between. So sometimes it is kind of cool to have a character who is like, yeah, maybe we can chill on the killing. That's how Attack on Titan is, by the way, which has caused quite a stir, because it's literally like that conversation as far as like, it's great. It's a great show, but it really is kind of like, yo, chill, man. Chill on the killing, fam. I get it. They're bad, but y'all. But at the same time, sometimes you do need that, like, especially like this, because it fits, right? It's a spy film. I saw a lot of people say great spy film. It is a spy film. It's a Bond film. Like, let's face it. This is like literally Moonraker. It's seen in the movie. You see it in the movie, but there's scenes taken out of Moonraker. And the whole like evil Russian villain living in the high tower, that's Moonraker. It's a James Bond film, which adds to the over-the-topness, and it adds to the whole aspect as far as like James Bond kills, fam. Like he straight up murders people because he has to, because they're like crazy ass terrorists who are trying to blow up a bunch of crazy stuff. And I feel like that's kind of cool and kind of refreshing, is to be like, my hero, who is Natasha or Yelena, is going to take this person out because they deserve it. And I was like, yeah, I need this person to die. I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept him being like put in a prison cell. This ain't going to happen, bro. So yeah, it worked out for sure. Yeah. Alrighty, guys, that was our review of Black Widow, our spoiler review. It's only 9. I mean, whatever.
I know.
We did it.
Yeah, dang. I meant to tell a story. I meant to tell a story real quick.
It's over. You can't say it. It's done.
What is it?
Cut it. No,
it's nothing. It's nothing like. It's nothing too crazy.
Just say it.
Well, yeah. So I actually got hit up by. Oh man, who mentioned it? Sorry, no. It's
Tinder.
No. Jeez, Louise. I actually got hit up from, this is a couple weeks ago. Actually, I meant to tell a story last week on the stream, but I got hit up by a friend of mine who I went to high school with. She was a freshman when I was a senior, and she was telling me that she was in a class at El Camino College, and they had I feel weird telling this story because it feels like a little bit like egotistical or whatever, but I'm just gonna say it. She was in a class at El Camino College, and in her like race and media like representation film class or whatever, they actually showed my little like documentary that I did on like Oscar Michaud, and then like she sent me a screenshot of them being like, of her professor being like, watch this film and like write an assignment on it, like have discussion pieces about it. And it's funny. It's funny because that wasn't like the first time I heard somebody like tell me like, oh, like they showed your film at like El Camino or whatever. But like, I don't know, it's just like kind of heartwarming to hear that, you know, like this is really cool to hear that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I just want to shout out whoever the professor has asked who the professor was, who wants to shout him out eventually. Shout out to Professor Francesca Bishop and Comms 256, you know, for showing my movie, I guess, you know, and showing love to
Comms 256.
Comms 256 to me and both me and to both the great Oscar Michaud, who is one of my greatest influences, and I'm very much very happy to that my documentary that I made when I was in high school is like still being played, I guess. So
I love that, man, because I remember I did the same thing in high school and in college, to where my professor liked it so much that they were like, "Oh, I got to show this to other students."
yeah,
And I'm just like, "Oh, damn, thank you, shit, that feels good."
But it's like
man.
a random college just stumbled upon your video.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
On the internet?
yeah, just
That's
on the
even
internet.
crazier.
Yeah.
That's way
absolutely
crazy.
nuts, RB3. That is so freaking cool. And that's what makes me so happy that we're able to, whatever the subject is, even just talking about something like Black Widow, somebody out there could see that and just like want to share it with others because they're like, yo, RB3 said something really great, so I wanted to show my friends like this or whatever. Even when like Gina Prince by the Wood commented on the video talking about some of your points
So
on our
cool.
meaning of episode
That's crazy.
about her. It's just
Same with half
absolute
of it
insanity.
director.
Yeah, half
So
of it,
cool.
like
That was
it's
my
just
favorite.
so it's just so freaking cool. So that makes me happy, RB3. And the fact that you did that in high school and they're showing it all these years later, like the talent that you have is just nuts.
Oh, thank you,
Cool.
thank you. I appreciate that.
I love it, man. Look at you, bro.
Hey, man, you
Taking
know,
over the world.
trying to do my thing, you know.
Alrighty, guys. Unless you guys have anything else, I think we can call it here. Sabrina, where can everyone find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sabrina X Monica, also on Twitter at Sabrina on Film, patreon.com/Sabrina on Film. Got a lot of streams coming up.
RB3, where can everyone find you, man?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3, and stay on the lookout for some timestamp news coming real soon. I just got my my little LLC binder from my production company, Brandon Ash's Production. Was good. It was good. You know, can y'all see that on camera? Hey, shout out LegalZoom for helping make that happen. So, you know, we out here.
And you can follow me at Squad Leader Ace, also at First Cut TMO. And also, if you weren't here in the beginning of the show, RB3 told you to download the network app. Go ahead and do that. Wednesday, show up, be there, support the homies, hashtag support the homies.
Support the homies.
We'll be there. Also, manifest an Ace Suns ticket. Just do it. Just do it. Just right now.
Retweet them.
Spirit Bomb. Just make a spirit bomb. If anyone gets that reference, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Just raise your hands to the sky. Give your
Got my
good
crystals.
jujus.
I'm vision
Good jujus.
with my crystals over here.
I'm
like
feeling
Andres.
it. I'll take the good jujus right now because I would love to go for a Suns championship. I just need a Suns ring, bro. That's it.
How do we find?
That's it. Just give me a Suns ring, bro. That's it. That's all I want, bro.
How do we find this tweet, bro? How do we find the OG tweet where we tweeting out about what we tweet? Is there a tweet we should retweet or?
I will retweet on the First Cut
there
Twitter
you go.
account, First Cut
Thank you,
TMO. I
Sabrina.
already did it, but I'll retweet. So make sure you guys head over there in literally 1 minute and you'll see that tweet. Let's get it out. Let's get Ace to the finals.
Let's do it, man. And honestly, if we just win the ring, I'll be happy. Even if I don't go, because I get it. It's tough. But either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're peacing out. Peace.